All right. Let's see what we're doing. We're cooking with gas. We're cooking with gas. So this is a little bit unusual for me, doing something so late at night. But I felt that this topic was important enough to talk about. Business credit without business skills is nothing but trouble, and why you need to skill up before funding. This may seem like a Debbie Downer moment. Look, what you guys need to do is go out and get the skills of selling, marketing, and business processes. This needs to happen before funding. I see many people are trying to get this funding, and they're trying to get this money, and they're trying to put it into things that are safe and stable. Like, let's talk about real estate. I heard someone said how to use credit cards and how to liquidate credit cards. Because, like, let's say you have $100,000 in credit cards. How do you get that cash off the credit cards? Because if you start doing a bunch of cash advances, the bank's going to take notice and they may shut you off. So typically what they will do, and this is what I used to do when I want to take money off my credit cards, is I would go to a friendly merchant, a friend, and say, hey, let me run this credit card, through your credit card, and you just give me the cash minus the fees. So that was one of the ways to pull the cash off of the credit card. You got to be very careful with that type of stuff because, if you get convenience checks, you can usually write those checks and convert to cash. But a lot of this stuff is risky. It's very, very risky. And it can adversely impact your future. And I know once again, I know I sound like Debbie Downer talking about why you need to skill up before getting into a business. And like right now, I'm skilling up with the using of Facebook ads because I'm not that really that good at it yet. And it's going to take me a process to get these skills to successfully run Facebook ads, because this is one of the things that's happening. The target keeps moving. Facebook ads today are different than they were last year. And they'll be different this time next year than they are today. So they're changing what they need, what they want from you, how to set them off. It's a process. But just like I'm telling you, you need to skill up before you go out and secure funding. And let's talk about real estate. I met someone today who lost their butt on their first flip. The estimated repairs were $35,000. When they got into the house, it took $110,000 to make that house ready to be sold. So they were off like $80,000. And he had the money, and it was a desperate moment. And when they sold the house, because he misestimated what the repairs would be and the house had additional damage, he made $5,000 at closing. And I told him, I said, good thing you didn't lose any money. You still made money. You didn't make much, but it's like. So one of the things is we're going to be talking about the basics. You need to learn the basics. Because, I have people, and I talk about what I do. And I'm going to have to put that out with some seasoned advice, Because I say that I do some stuff, then someone will go out and try to do what I say I'm doing without a firm understanding of it. Like, here's a question. If you have two companies, you can't just use one to funnel money through. Why would you want to do that? Ever since I put up that check talking about I was taking money, loaning it from one, lending it to the new company from the old company, I've had all kinds of questions and people trying. I'm a seasoned operator. I've been doing this 2 decades. 2 decades. 2. I've learned a lot. I lost a lot of money, but I've been doing this 2 decades. And you don't even have your business up and running, and you think you can do exactly what I do. And this is one of the biggest issues I have, because in terms of trying to be relatable, sometimes I'm too relatable. People are not understanding the mad genius that I am. Because one of the things that you got to understand is you got to crawl before you walk. And I know people don't want to hear that. People don't want to pay attention to that. People don't believe in that. Everybody think they're a superstar, but let's look at the math. 99% of the people in America don't make 6 figures. 99, that's the overwhelming majority. So if the average person was so smart, why isn't that reflected in the numbers? The average income is $28,000 to $32,000 a year, single person income, not household income. Household income is like $55,000 to $64,000, which is 2 or 3 or 4 people in the household. So we got that going on. And one of the reasons that you want to become a technician and why you want to become competent in doing what you do is personal satisfaction and business efficiency. Once you become competent, like I said, I got people already talking about me, my real estate course. I haven't bought my first property. I'm not one of those people that's going to create a course on something I've never done before. So I got to do it, get good at it, then put that out, and not a minute before. So one of the things is the core purposes of businesses is to generate revenue and to serve people. And I want you guys to embrace that. I want you to really, really embrace that, because a lot of people are not embracing that. They'll see the Instagram lives. They'll see people driving these nice cars, living in these fancy houses, and they're not telling the full tale. Like, I've been in the real estate space, and all of a sudden on Facebook, I'm starting to see all of these guys who are talking about wholesaling. Dave Ramsey used to wholesale. That's how he made money after he went bankrupt. Subject to and all this other stuff. And they're, because I'm like, that's just wholesaling. And they're going to have an event. They're going to have a training. They're going to have a paid training for wholesaling. And if you watch YouTube long enough, flipman.net, Maxwell, there's a number of people that'll tell you how to do it from A to Z. The essence of wholesaling is you need to find someone that has a deal. That's what makes wholesaling works. If you can get this $150,000 house to sell for 45 to 60, put your assignment fee on that, make 5, 10, 15 G's, then the person who buys it at 65, then they put 35 worth of work into it, then they sell it for 150. Everybody making money except for the people who sold it, because the people on the later stages are making the money. And that's what you got to find, someone that is willing to take that hit take that loss, someone that's in a bad situation, tax lien sales. There's so many things I've learned. And everybody's talking about wholesaling as it's in the real estate business, and it's a sales and marketing business. It's not a real estate business. You're not investing in real estate. You're just going out and buying a very cheap property, putting a little markup on it, and flipping it to someone else. And this is one of the things that, because like I said, there's a lot of people that I'm coming across who are doing this. And also the price point. Most houses that are wholesaling are doing so at under 200K. So there's a certain price point, a certain neighborhood that works very well in. And part of that reason that price point is so desirable is, most of America doesn't live in a $700 and $800, $900 million house. That's most of America. Most of the properties around here, especially if it's in the state, hold on. When they put it up for sale, there's one estate that's been for sale since I've lived here. That's slow moving property because everyone doesn't have that money to flow like that. I mean, like just around the way on Long Island Drive, there's multi-million-dollar houses, a bunch of them. But most of America can't afford that. So one of the things is wholesaling, and this is a fundamental skill. One of the reasons that reselling worked so well for me was I was literally getting my merchandise pennies on the dollar. I mean, I buy a whole unit, spend $50. There's $2,000 worth of stuff or sellable stuff in there. I got that for $50. Like storage auctions, I got it at the wholesale price. And a big understanding of this is knowing how to sell. Because this is something else that I've been studying and I've come up with. Very few people are doing deals with their own money. The bank's money, TBM, other people's money, OPM. And I want to educate you guys on the power of doing stuff with your own money and getting to the skill level. Because I know this may sound crazy, but if you're married and your wife makes $50,000 and you make $50,000, if you would adjust your lifestyle to live on $50,000 and to save and invest the other salary, you'd be paying cash for cars. You'd be paying, the down payment for real estate will become nothing. Like, all right, let's say you make 52, you're going to bring home like 40. So you're living on 40 and you got $40,000. And if you save that $40,000 for 2 or 3 years, so that's going to give you 80 to 120K. You can start going out and doing deals with your own money. And this is a reasonable expectation. This is if you have moderate income. So a big part of this is understanding how money works, understanding how money is deployed. Like one of the things that I practice is living on a small percentage of my income. I don't live at the top of my income. I don't even live in the middle. And through practical and shrewd financial management, this is how you can stack money. This is how I'm able to save up enough money in a few months to buy cash for a house. So one of the things is you've got to practice financial wizardry. And this is where, because once again, America's drunk on credit. I'm going to say this, and I know people are going to come for me, but so many people are so drunk, so addicted to credit that they can't even see another way of doing it. They can't see doing their own deals with their own money. They can't see it. And if you're using credit, it is more expensive. Any way you look at it. If you have a 30-year note and you pay the full price, for 30 years, you're going to pay 2 to 3 times more than what that house is worth. What they hoping is at the at the end of the term, that house will be worth what you paid. It's very interesting. And this is why you got to skill up. You got to learn the fundamentals, business processes, marketing, and sales. Like if you get into the wholesale business of houses and you become very, very good at marketing. Because see, the way that I look at it is the simple part, not easy, but simple, is finding the deal. The hard part is finding a buyer. Now, if you got like a super sweetheart deal, like a deal of a lifetime, that's easy to move on. Maurice Morris, what if I know how to service the debt? Servicing the debt works fine as long as nothing bad happens. But if something bad happens, you have a heart attack, you have a loss of income, that whole leveraging thing can land on top of your head in not a pretty way. So Maurice Morris, you may know how to service the debt, but can you predict the future? Are you going to make sure that this goes on uninterrupted? Because right now, we have a lot of people who are late on their mortgage, a lot of people who are late on their car notes, and a lot of people who are late on their credit cards. So these people know how to service the debt, but they are unable to service the debt. And this is one of the reasons that you want to learn how to make money without money. And this is why wholesaling is a good thing to get into, because you can make thousands of dollars and don't have any money. This is one of the beauties of it. You could do a pre-sale. You can make money online. There's 1,000,001 ways that you can make money without having money. Because, every time I hear that it takes money to make money, I say you are misinformed. You're miseducated. Because I will tell you one way that I made money. It was 30 days to 2,500. What I used to do was have the session each day on YouTube. And if you showed up for the live, you got the lesson. Then I resold the stuff to folks who wanted it and they couldn't show up. Well, that cost me no money. And I made a lot of money from selling that course. Just doing the pre-sale. It's about becoming a technician, about being creative. Because like I said, I did the course for free to people who showed up. And for the folks who wanted to buy it, who missed out, who couldn't show up, because I had a lot of people who would buy it every day. Now, I had no money into it. It was just money, money, money. Jabras, the Fed had to inject money yesterday into the repo market. Banks lending to each other. If that freezes up, all credit is frozen. Jabras, 100% correct. And that's not something you could predict. So, and I could tell you from last time, when the market went south, all this easy credit dried up. Banks weren't making loans. People couldn't get loans. So it would be fortunate for you to start operating with your own money. Appliance boot camp. I found better deals on real estate because I pay cash. I had to be patient because I only had a set amount to spend. Paying cash also keeps your emotions out the deal. When you come to someone and say, look, we can close in 7-10 days because I have cash, that's very motivating. It's very motivating because once you get to that level, your whole philosophy changes. Because once again, you get better deals. Because, you know, I'm looking, because what's the thing? I'm learning, I'm looking, and I'm paying attention to the marketplace. The Atlanta housing market is very hot. I saw a bunch of stuff get marked down, and then someone put a contract on it. So that's happening. And I got to be patient. And fortunately, here's the problem with business credit. Once you use your credit up to the credit limits, you're faced with repayment. And that can be very, very dangerous for real estate. Like, you know, a lot of people are trying to get business credit to go out and buy a truck to get into trucking. I've been watching a lot of trucking videos, and trucking is hot right now. You get in a truck, you drive from point A to point B, drop the freight, get your check. It's very simple. Like earlier today, I put up a video talking about what type of business skills you guys want to learn. And I got all kinds of esoteric stuff. And it was like nobody understands that for trucking to work, someone's got to sell something. For everything to work, somebody has to sell something. Somebody got to sell a chicken. Someone's got to sell the cow patties. Someone's got to sell the milk. Before these trucks start rolling, somebody has to sell something. And this is why this is one of the most important skills you can have. And a lot of people are just not interested in that. Jason Clutchin, paying cash with your cheaper price. Dr. Rocca, I'm in trucking. A lot of people are getting into trucking. That seems to be one of the trendy businesses. That seems to be like one of the things, like, I'm about to get into trucking. I'm going to get me a truck. Duraka, that's the economy. Yeah, man, somebody got to sell something. And if you can get into the part where you can become very good at one of these two things, if you could become very good at marketing, you could become a millionaire. You become very good at sales, you could become a millionaire. And this is one of the things, I don't think I've been doing a good enough job of really reiterating that, because a lot of people want to try to sell like I sell. You got to have a YouTube channel. I mean, 99% of my money comes from YouTube channel. Someone to watch videos, like, hey, I like what this dude has to say. They buy a course. That's how it goes. And it's called inbound marketing. We just need to get money, millions, by any means necessary. I don't know about that because, you know, when you say stuff like that, that means you open up the door to criminality. And I've heard a lot of people say, because, you know, I'll tell you a little dirty story. I used to date a stripper, and we were getting serious, and she was going to stop stripping because, you know, I wouldn't go into the club. I wouldn't go, I wouldn't look at her. But one of the things that you have to understand is I broke up with this chick, and it was because of the stripping, and it's because she did it. This is one of the things you got to understand. Once a woman becomes a stripper who gets accustomed and acclimated to men throwing money at her for just shaking her butt, you think that thought process only stays in a club? By definition, all men are tricks. So if you are a dude and you're not throwing money at her, you don't love her. That's one of the things you have to understand. And part of this whole notion of skilling up, and a lot of people don't want to do it, is they don't understand the power of becoming competent. Like, take these people who know how to do Excel spreadsheets. The guy in the office who's really good at Excel spreadsheets is like a commodity. Everybody like, let's go talk to Hal. Hey, Hal, how do I do this formula? And Hal's like the office resource for that. So you got that going on. And then once again, you got to understand what is going on with basic competence. Because when you become good, so good that other people know about it, you become beyond competent. You become super knowledgeable, super efficient. That's something that you can print your ticket with. Because once you become competent and you can take it to another level, this opens up the door to all types of opportunities. And this is the thing with business credit. And this is why you got to learn how to sell, learn how to make money without money. Learn how to make money without having any money. You make yourself very powerful. The resale business was so good to me because we had extremely high price margins. I could go out, spend $5,000. That may get me $30, $40, $50, $60, $70,000 worth of inventory. The math on the storage auctions was bananas. And that's why I did it for so long, because it was good. And the math on digital products is insanity. Because, every now and then I'll get someone in there, well, the real money is in these courses. The real money is in whatever you want it to be in. Because a lot of people get butthurt because they don't have the ability to do X, Y, and Z. And then that creates a lot of disharmony. But once again, before you go out and get funding and business credit, and I know a lot of people are not going to listen to me, become competent in sales and marketing, because that's what's going to bring the money in. Here's a nasty little secret a lot of folks don't know. Many of these startups are not making money. They're losing money because they're sacrificing growth and profitability for growth. Uber's laid off 1,000 people recently. Uber's losing millions of dollars per day. And it's got people gassed up on this felonious business model. All my businesses, I had to make money to stay in business. I don't know any other way. We're going to make this Wi-Fi bread, man. We're going to make this money. Moham question, how does someone learn how to make money without having money? Asking for myself. Here's one lesson for you, Moham. You have an online course that you have not created. You create a marketing campaign saying, hey, I'm going to create this course. You get pre-sales before you even make the course. You've made money without having any money. It's a matter of being creative and looking at it. There's several ways to do that. Trucking in life. Trucking is like any other business. You have to have healthy profit margins. If you're not careful, you can lose your shirt in trucking also. Charles L. Brown, is there a sales and marketing course? There's a ask for the sales course. But what I find out is somebody needs to be in the process of trying to sell something for that to be beneficial. Trucking in life, one of the things I've noticed about trucking is the crazy overhead between fuel cost and maintenance. You make $20K a month, half of that could go to truck maintenance. 10, 11K could go to truck maintenance and fuel. So it is a high margin, cost margin business. But you're right. A lot of people go out and get in trucking and they don't know how to keep it out the ditches. They don't know how to keep it in that center lane, man. It creates a sense of urgency for people. Because essentially, like, here's the deal. If you got a 720 credit score or better, you got a decent job, all you have to do is create an LLC, use your job, your W-2 income as a income for these business credit apps, and you could probably get up to $100,000 to $150,000 in business credit very easily. And, when you want to get to super credit, which is like $500,000, $2, $3, $4 million in credit lines, that's a whole nother animal. Trucking in life, yes, sir. High overhead is right. Maurice Morris. Money is debt and debt is credit. So the real credit is the tax credit for the next year. I'm going to disagree with that. That's a whole nother strategy because, if you've got a real estate empire and you've got, let's say, $250,000 in depreciation, that means that your business can make up to $250,000 and not pay taxes. That's a totally different game than the credit game. And it's, you got to know the law. And what the Fed has done recently with putting all this money in the repo market, that's just a sign. They had to do it twice. That's just a sign that something's wrong. And the system that we have, if you're not a producer, if you're not making something, selling something, providing a service, life is going to be hard for you. It's going to be very, very hard. Because this is what makes the country run. And, I know this is a very unpopular view because everybody wants hey, how to get business credit. Because, I watched the videos and it's like I got $25,000 from American Express. I got $50,000 from Chase. Since I'm a heavy cash and carry guy, and I do understand the importance of credit, and I do understand the importance of having a healthy credit profile, I do, I'm in a weird spot because every time I talk about paying cash for my rental property, people will sit and argue with me, don't do it. And when I ask them the simple question, what are you doing? Is this what you're doing? Oh, no, man, I'm not in the market. I can't get in. I don't listen to people who are not in the market. I don't listen to people who are not playing the game. Because whenever someone says something to me, I was like, do you make enough money? Do you know how to make enough cash where you can buy a piece of real estate every year with cash money? And they go no. And this is something else too that I've noticed. A lot of these real estate investors are always chasing cash. They've never got their business to the point where they're able to go out and buy and fund deals. They're always chasing cash, always trying to partnership, borrowing money from someone's IRA and all this other stuff. Jay Tabala, selling kitchens right now. You recommend the sales or the marketing course? I recommend both. You selling kitchens, you're appealing to that woman. I would study both. I would get both marketing courses and sales courses. Because, marketing is making people aware that you exist in what you do. Sales is putting your offer in front of people who can benefit from it and learning how to close them. Very, very different, because sometimes good marketing can create easy sales. It's like, wow, they exist. I've been looking for that. That's exactly what I need. Shoot. And about 10% of buyers are like that. It's like, hey, this is what I need. Here's my credit card. And about 80% of buyers have to be convinced and prodded. So, sales and marketing, you got to learn this stuff, fellas. People, my people, you got to learn this, because if you get a bunch of money through business credit and you spend that money on your business and it goes bad, now you have all of this debt that you got to pull from your W-2 income if you still have your job. Josh Barr, I'm in a 2019 truck with 60K miles and have been in the shop for 7 days. The last 40 days, parts under warranty. Sorry to hear that. The name is, how do I better my sales skills with services? You got to learn how to talk to people. EQ, emotional intelligence, quotient, is a big barrier, is a big factor in sales. Because somebody comes in, you got to talk to them. You got to figure out what they need. Sometimes they'll tell you, sometimes they won't. You got to pull it out of them. There is a big part of creating sales and putting together ways to make money. Because like I said, with the internet, there's so many ways to get this Wi-Fi bread. There's so many ways. And people are looking for the simplest, the fastest, the quick way. And I'm here to tell you that that's just, you're misguided when you're looking in that direction. So one of the things is understanding the power of competence. Like I said, I'm on this 2-year journey of learning how to run Facebook ads. Tomorrow I got to set up some and get this going, because I got to be very careful, because I cannot sell my course directly with Facebook ads. I got to have a middleman and send them to a chat. Then from the chat, they go to the course, because I cannot sell that course directly with Facebook ads because of a sexual nature. So that was something that I kind of had a feeling was going to happen. But for you to be competent, it makes you magical. It will make you extraordinary. It will make you special. Because once again, a lot of people out here getting this business credit and they don't know what to do with it. Because once again, you get this business credit lines, don't lie on your app. Don't misuse the money, because American Business Credit sues. They come for you. you don't have their money, they come for you. They're like, hey, we gave you a $50,000 credit card and you took our money. We want it back, player, plus some interest. You don't have it. Do your children have it? Does your estate have it? They will come for you. And many people don't seem to understand that that happens because, when I first discovered business credit, I didn't go full on with it because I was like, how am I going to pay this money back? That was one of my first questions. And a lot of people just give me business credit. Because I can tell you some of the benefits of business credit is you can max out your business credit cards and it doesn't impact your FICO score. Like if you were to use your credit cards for real estate and you were to draw those puppies down, you're going to crash your score, player. So that's another good reason to have business credit, because you can carry high balances, you can max out your credit cards, and it doesn't mess with your FICO. And it gives you a lot of additional funds because, once again, hear me and hear me now. Learn how to sell, learn how to make money without money before you go get your funding. This will put you in the position where you would be so strong. You'd be like the bear. You'd be going through town, slapping people down with your paw because you that strong. Just versus some scared little deer that's afraid to answer the phone because collections are calling. Don't be that person. Don't be that person. Go ahead and learn how to make money, because tomorrow I'm probably going to do a video titled How to Make Money Without Having Money, and go through all of the steps and the ways to do it, because you can sell stuff for people. And I remember early eBay when people would have these eBay shops, and I don't know if that's still working. I think most of them shut down because they didn't have enough people bringing them enough of the good stuff. Here's one way that you can make some money without having money. Call up everybody that you know and say, look, I'm having a garage sale next weekend. What do you have in your house that I can use for my garage sale that you don't want? And just go down the list and ask all your friends for the stuff and sell that. Ask them hey, would you give it to me? You don't need it. That's one way you can make a lot of money. Craigslist free section. Sit on it. You can get stuff from that. I remember I was at this chick's house. She had this nice fancy apartment. And then when I was leaving the next morning, there was this butcher block table. I loaded this stuff up in my truck. I sold that sucker for $350. Money just sitting by a dumpster. So there's many ways for you to make money without having money, but it's usually covered in work. You got to work, man. You got to work. And a lot of people just don't want to work. So we will be doing some more videos tomorrow. I'm going to write that down. Make sure we get this covered. How to make money without having money. The internet gives you so many ways to do this, and a lot of people just don't take advantage of it. So one of the things that you need to do, and you need to be judicious once you get this business credit. I don't really buy a lot of silly stuff with my credit cards. It's usually business related. So you're going to want to be very on point with your spending. You're going to want to have your money working for you or be making better choices with your money. Because, like I said, a lot of people are going out here getting funding. They're getting in bad deals that takes up all that funding. And then they're in the situation now where they have all this debt that they got to pay off with no way of paying it off. Because leveraging, leverage works as long as everything else stays the same. This means that people don't get sick, people don't run into problems. It stays the same. So one of the things that you should become very savvy about is learning about money, credit, interest rates, points. You need to be skilled in the language of money. And what does that mean? Because I used to sell cars, and I remember this guy who bought this van, then he came back, and our F&I guy had to sit down with him and explain to him line by line what this meant. And when he actually is like, whoa, go over that again? That's too much money. And he's like, unless y'all change this rate, I'm returning this van in right now and get my old car back. Because he educated himself. But there are many people out there who just don't understand the power of cash and good sense. Because, like I said, I'm going to wait till it melt down a little bit more because the market's just too hot. Right now, I haven't been able to find the deal that I want because Atlanta's bumping right now in terms of real estate. It's, people say it's a buyer's market. It's a seller's market because I'm seeing stuff go on Zillow within a matter of 5 days to get the contract on it. But this is the premium stuff. This is the stuff that's been rehabbed. This is the good-looking stuff. I've seen houses sit on Zillow for months or going on 2 years now. All right. So let's do this. Okay. Currently, at Hustlers Kung Fu, I have all types of deals on payment plans and all kinds of things that are going. This is to help you get the skill sets that you need to win. This is what you're going to need to win. So there's a lot of the larger courses are on payment plans. All the links are below this video. And next Tuesday, I will be doing another Consult Tuesday. So be ready for that. And the money management course is on 6 payment plan. $50 a month for 6 months. So you can even get that. All right. Let's see if we got any more questions. Before I bounce, I had an uncle who was doing the garage sale hustle. He paid me to help him pick up all this free stuff people were throwing out. I thought he was just hoarding. Now I see the hustle in it. I see profits. I just bought a house. The market is effing hot right now. Louisville, Kentucky, stuff sells in a day. Ricardo, I mean, you don't have a business that's not making any money. You have a job. You're going to have to pay your W-2 use your W-2 income to pay this business debt off. This is nothing new. I mean, this is the thing about credit. High credit limits are nice. High credit balances are not so nice. You got to pay that off, player. You have got to pay that off. All right, fellas. I will see you guys tomorrow. Be sure to check out the deals below the video. See if we can help you. I do have how to be an Uber salesperson. Ask for the money. That's the sales course. So that's also below.